Welcome to the Finally Heard podcast, where it is attractive to be authentic. I'm your girl E, and here you can find your herd of people who have been labeled or have personally identified with being the black sheep of their families or friend groups. This is a safe space where you can be finally here, finally happy, and finally heard. Thank you all for joining us. We are on episode 11.
Hey.
And it is titled, You Are Not Alone.
I am here with you.
I thought the same thing when I labeled it. And I was like, oh, to Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
I don't.
Rest in power.
Yeah. Let's hope he made it in.
Okay.
Amen.
Ooh, that's a tough one.
Ironically, you would think that would be my song of the week, but it is absolutely not.
What is it?
Okay. So, preference. Fantasia is coming to town this week.
Oh, wait.
And I have always wanted to see Fantasia because I feel like even though she do secular music, she sang for real.
Yeah.
And I appreciate the shoe kickoff and her basically doing half her set like in a real churchy tone.
Right.
I appreciate that.
Right.
So my song of the week this week is Fantasia, You Have to Lose to Win.
I like that song.
Do you remember that song?
Yes.
That was my jam.
Don't you gotta lose to win again?
Yeah.
I find myself several times like when I am feeling a way about somebody, kind of talking out her words to her songs.
Yes.
If you don't want me, don't talk to me.
Let me tell you, we used to do that in college all the time. Like when you was dealing with like a boyfriend or girlfriend, if you don't want me, then don't talk to me.
Find someone else to do.
Find someone and free yourself.
Free yourself.
I love Fantasia.
This is not jail. Free yourself.
Hello?
Walk away.
I can't wait to go to the concert.
That sounds like fun.
But I also feel like if I put too much emphasis on it, then it's gonna be whack.
Nah.
Have you ever seen her in concert?
I have not seen her in concert, but I would.
I'm nervous.
With her screaming self. Her and what's her name? Jennifer Hudson. They both
I hate Jennifer
some
Hudson.
screaming women.
I hate her voice. I do. I hate her. Because I feel like she can't sing. I just feel like, and this, I probably shouldn't be the person saying this because I'm not a singer myself. I can hold a note, I can hear a tune, but I'm not a singer. But I think that she I don't think she has a good voice. I think she just has good range and she has good power.
Okay.
But I don't think the tone of her voice equates to that who is talented in singing.
She does have a lot of power.
And it's great because it make you feel something, but it's great for church. I don't think she's an artist.
I can see that.
And I think it's two levels of singers. You know what I'm saying? Like you can be, no disrespect, because I'm a church singer too. So don't come in the comments acting crazy. But you know, I think it's those who can you got some oil behind your voice, but you may not necessarily be talented,
right?
But you got some oil. And sometimes the oil, most times if the oil is real, it'll carry you.
What artist do you feel like has the oil behind their voice and sing just really, really, really well?
And really well?
Like really well.
Oh.
It's hard to find both.
Yeah.
But it's some out there.
Leandria.
Yes.
Leandria got both.
That woman.
Because she could sing Mary Had a Little Lamb. And I'm also the Otis Walls brother, Daryl Walls. You know the Walls group?
I feel like all of them can blow.
They all can blow, but they all don't have oil. Let's be clear.
Okay.
No shade, no tea. But that Daryl, baby, that boy
I've
got
always
some
heard
oil on him.
The ones that are the most talented are tried the most. You remember that thing Leandria went through?
Yes.
With alcoholism.
But just same thing with Daryl. You know, Daryl, he had came out and then went and said, just kidding.
No, he didn't say just kidding.
He did. He came.
How do you say, wait.
Listen. We'll call it deliverance today.
You call it something
Call it
because
something.
I call it confusion.
Well, maybe he got.
And,
Maybe he was confused initially and then got unconfused.
Did he actually
He
have a
he
video?
he literally had a video with. Well, let me not say it was his video.
He admitted to it, didn't he?
Let me do this right before they Tasha K me. Allegedly, there was a video that surfaced. I don't know if it was his video or not, but there was a video that surfaced of him like making out with a man.
So I haven't seen, but that part I've actually seen. But I didn't see, couldn't see him. But I've actually heard it's one of him in the act with a man.
I allegedly heard the same thing. But I did not see that.
Yeah.
So I don't know. However, since then, he has publicly been in a relationship with a woman.
Yeah. Don't they have a kid?
Oh no.
No. Okay.
I don't even know if they still in a relationship because I feel like I saw her on the red carpet with somebody else here recently. But allegedly. But they were but yeah, he recanted the whole like, sorry y'all, I was tripping. Don't mind me.
I'm so confused.
Your child. But Leandria is still dealing with, what she dealing with. So
that make me so sad.
It does. But I truly honestly believe that it be the ones that really have gone through something that have a story to tell that God be like, here go a little extra of this gift.
Yeah.
So that,
to combat all of this that's about to happen.
Yeah. And, to show the glory of God.
Yeah.
Like you can't be like, I grew up wealthy and I never wanted for anything. And I have an Ivy League school education and I have 2.3 children and a husband and a dog. You know what I'm saying? You can't do all that and be like, but let me tell you about Jesus. You be like, nigga, you have money.
When I was down and out, when?
Right.
When did this happen?
Where's your testimony? Like, I don't see it, hear it, or feel it.
Right. Say a date. I don't believe.
Help me help you. Okay. But I think those who be like, listen here, okay. I was a drug addict. I was an alcoholic. I was this, that, and the third, and the Lord saved me. You be like, oh. Well, show me who you talking about, because that's a lot.
And this is something when you got front row seats and get to see where they come from, and that's how you get to see like this. God can use anybody.
Yes, and will,
and he will.
Yes,
in front of everybody.
Yes. So
yeah,
that was my little segue. Sorry.
No, I feel the same way.
So what's your song this week?
So. This is probably gonna show my age, but I'm gonna say "Elevators" by Outkast. Me and you, your mama and your cousin too.
Now that came out when we was in middle school.
Was it middle school? Probably.
I feel like it was, because Hey Y'all came out in high school. I remember that because the first time I heard it, I was at the school dance.
And Hey Y'all came out way after Elevators.
Yeah, so I feel like Elevators came out when we was in middle school.
Yeah, that's my jam. I have it in my actual Spotify.
I thought that I lived in California and was a member of Death Row when that song came out. I don't know why. It just gave me NWA vibes, and I was like, "Yep, I'm a part too." And knowing they from Atlanta.
Yeah.
I don't know.
The beat. I think it's the beat. The beat does sound very Cali.
It gives very chronic.
Yeah. I can see that. I like and I was kind of stuck between the two, Elevators and Prototype. I love
Prototype is so underrated.
It is, and it's such a pretty song.
It is. I need somebody to sing that at a wedding or something.
I don't think I've ever heard of it at a wedding.
But if you think about the words, you should.
Yeah.
Like,
but it's like you said, it's underrated.
I'm the prototype of what you think a woman should be. Tell me more.
Of what? Let's get married.
Yes,
like, let's get married.
How do you say no to a man who tells you that you are the prototype of all things good?
Don't leave me, girl. You're the prototype.
I feel like it could be abusive.
Nigga, what does that even mean?
True.
I don't even want to leave anymore.
But I feel like it could be abusive too. Like it'd be the niggas with the good game who be like who a two-piece you and be like, but girl, you the prototype.
The prototype of what? If you really look, like, what's the definition of prototype?
The prototype is
like the layout, right?
Yeah. So it's the imagination piece. Like it's what I thought in my mind that would be the perfect identity of what I'm trying to create.
Because then, if it's an abusive group, what if you're like the prototype of a battered woman, and that's like his dream woman?
Oh, took her left.
Sorry, yeah, got dark fast. I overthought that, but I'm just saying, just think about it.
Yeah, well, you never know somebody's intention until you know it.
Yeah,
So yeah, that's very interesting. Yikes. So we have a what the flock this week.
Hey,
what the flock?
What the flizzog?
Girl, I like that. What the flizzog?
What the flizzog? I got a story.
That's what I used to say when I used to block people, like blizzard.
Blizzard. Oh, so I got a so I saw a what the flock on Facebook.
Okay.
And it was, I forgot who posted it, but I was like, this would be perfect to share with y'all, because it's about setting boundaries when you have a friend that you like really care about. And you tell your friends like, oh, I'm there for you, you're there for me, we look out for each other, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But with some friendships, you got to set boundaries, or people just continue to dump on you till you don't have nothing left for yourself. So
that's very true.
This is a text message between one friend and another. Mm-hmm. And this is the friend setting a boundary to the friend that is constantly dumping. So okay. Here you go. It says, hey boo, few words for you. I know y'all broke up and got back together, but moving forward, please don't complain or talk to me about anything in your relationship. If you're going to stay in it, there's no point of complaining and letting other people know if you're going to stay. It's fine if you thought you were just venting to me, but it's tiring and a bit of a slap in the face for me. Come and grab you and all your things just for you to stay or rekindle. This is nothing against you or him, because I know he's going to hear about this message as well. Not pillow talking. So, no, it's not that I dislike him or anything. I just don't care to hear you complain if you're not going to do anything about it. So moving forward, please don't include me in anything dealing with that, because it's truly exhausting and a waste of time to help if nothing is going to change. Mm-hmm. And that goes for getting you out of the house if he pisses you off as well. I'd rather not be involved. All this is coming from a place of love, and I still am your friend and will listen and be there for everything else. I just would prefer you talk to someone else about that and not me. Mm-hmm. Also, no judgment to the decision you made, because this is your life. Response from friend: okay, cool. Just like I'm cool on you. Response from boundary setter: okay, bye. End of message.
That's deep.
So
so here's the thing with that. I understand where boundary setter is coming from, but I've also been the other girl. So, and I'll say this. So the girl who's setting the boundary, moving somebody is a lot.
Yeah.
I don't move myself. I call
the moving people.
Hello. Okay. And I will pay the $600-$700 for y'all to. It'd be the bigger the house is, the more you got to pay.
Move you. I will move you.
I will pay for us to put the boxes at the door, and for some big two men in a truck to show up and pick that stuff up and take it somewhere. So the fact that you called me,
right,
little old me, and I'm not a man to be moving stuff in the middle of the night to come pack you up and get you out the house, for you to turn around a couple weeks later and go back. Right. I agree. Don't call me.
Right.
Especially if you're talking about getting me out of here. I'm going to leave you, and I'm going to tell you to dial 211. I'm going to tell you to call the non-emergency number.
Right.
And get some help. That's not me.
But I'm saying at the same time, okay, wait. So, okay, yeah, okay. So at the same time, I feel like she coming from a place, I feel like she should have said this a long time ago, because it don't sound like this was said before.
And it doesn't sound like this was a first time offense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I feel like the offense kept happening because she just now setting a boundary.
Yes.
Like, you can't hold people accountable for how to treat you if you don't set boundaries from the door.
True. But how do you know what kind of boundaries to set when you are just kind of figuring out who a person is or what the friendship looks like?
What things happen? Like you said, this has happened a few times. You know what I'm saying?
But the first time, I'm willing to help you because I don't think you're going back.
Right. But then the first time she went back, it should have been that boundary. Like, listen, if this is going to be a thing, please don't include me in it.
Yeah.
And, and she says coming from a place of love. And I think it's her delivery of her being so direct, which I appreciate personally. And if this came to me, I would appreciate it. But something like a relationship of somebody that's, from the sound of it, mildly being abused, maybe mentally or verbally, whatever. I feel like it's really fragile. Yeah. And if it's that fragile, you should come a little more gentle.
Yeah.
So,
well, and again, like I said, I've been on the other side of that too.
Yeah.
Where things that happen in my life frustrate me, and I will dump with no intention of fixing it. For example, my weight. I've been big for a long time, and I will crack a joke about how I can't breathe when I walk up the stairs, or how I can't fit none of my clothes, or how I don't want to go out because I look fat, or whatever the case may be. And although I'm joking about it, it's really how I feel. But all of my friends would be well within their right to be like, listen, if you ain't gonna fix it, shut up. Because I do it so often. And I'm just noticing how often I do it, but I do it so often that I could very well hear one of my friends going like, I don't like when you talk about yourself like that. Shut up.
I feel like maybe giving a disclaimer. Like, just let me talk, and I just need you to listen. Is that okay? Like, if that's too much for you, if it makes you uncomfortable, let me know. Just giving that disclaimer. I guess with some friends, like certain things, like with some of my friends, like I have a friend right now who is very, very good with advice, but because she's good with advice, she will always give it to me if I'm venting to her. And every now and again I say, hey, I just need you to listen.
Yeah, I don't want that advice.
I don't want no advice. Yeah. And especially because I respect you enough to let you know I'm not gonna take it.
Yeah.
So, and she is always able to do that. And I do that for her as well. So it's like, and that's another thing, the give and take of a friendship. Like, you can't just dump and take from people.
Yeah.
Because you look up one day, you don't have nothing to offer yourself because you done gave it all away to this one person.
Yeah.
And you wondering like, why they so cold to me? They don't have shit left to offer you because all you've done is take.
Yeah. What do you do with a friend that you feel like you have given and taken from, but you don't like their delivery? Because this girl, some of it could have been she felt a certain type of way about her checking her a little bit. It sounded like a check the way she said it, but I mean, what if it just was her delivery?
I think it's, like I said, I think it's more to her delivery. It's the fact that you waited for it to be several times and just now bringing it up to me.
Yeah.
I think something like this should have been brought up when there wasn't a problem between her and the dude. Like, it was a regular,
regular day.
Like, let's go out, let's go chill, let's go talk, let's go out for coffee.
Hey, I had something I wanted to run past you real quick.
Because it sounds like it's still fresh, and because it's a super sensitive situation, she like, oh, fine, bye,
Yeah. But so. I don't know. For me, I think I would want to know, but I think the way that you see friendship is not always the way. Let me say that differently. I think the way that you are a friend are not always the way that you see somebody else being a friend to you. You know what I'm saying? So, like, for example, let's take our friendship, for example. We don't talk every day.
Right.
But when we do talk, it's usually about real good content.
Yeah.
Right. Like we talk about something deep and it usually take hours. And we just everybody gotta do a brain dump.
Right.
And then be like, oh, so good talking to you. I talk to you again in about 4 weeks. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just kind of how we are. But what if you were okay with that? And this is not the case. So let me give that disclaimer. But what if you were okay with that? And like, oh, I talked to her and, we do these dumps and, everybody's good. But I'm sitting on the side like, I don't want to do the dump anymore.
I feel like.
But that's the basis of our friendship. So how do you navigate that? You know what I'm saying?
Communication is so powerful and so important. If you love somebody and care about somebody and they love and care about you, they should be able to receive. This is the issue, even, and that's just used loosely.
Yeah.
But this is the issue I'm experiencing with our relationship, and I want it to continue to thrive and be this beautiful thing. And if you want that, you have to communicate effectively.
Yeah.
Like this, if we kept our friendship the same and dumped and didn't talk for another 4 weeks, I would still love you the same. Even if in the back of my mind, wow, I wish I talked to her more, or I wish it was more to our friendship than just this. Anything that's alive has to grow. So your friendship isn't, if it's growing, it's not going to just stay that way where we talk and then don't talk for several weeks. Things are going to happen. We're going to learn each other in several different ways from our own personal walk and our own personal growth.
Right.
So I don't know. I just feel like the moment that you feel that way, that you should talk about it.
Yeah.
And you don't wait till, oh, it's bothering me now, or now I'm pissed, let me talk about it. No, you don't wait. When you first see like this is a thing, an ongoing thing, you talk about it right away.
I think that's really mature. And I think that
do you do it?
It depends. I am a people pleaser. I really truly am to my core, and I do it so much it irritates me.
Do you put your feelings on the back burner?
I do.
Oh,
I do, until I lose my mind.
Oh no!
And then by the time I've lost my mind, I've because my mouth is bad too. I have probably said something or have done something that the other person would see as extreme, and it may classify to the point of no return.
Yeah,
because I don't like being vulnerable. And I think communication takes a level of vulnerability for it. Okay, so for example, let's say I'm bad at making up examples, but they work sometimes. Let's say, let's say you're my go out friend.
Okay.
Right. And we have a standing Friday, 7:00. This is my time that I spend with Mo. This our date night. Leave us alone. Appointment. And let's say in those times, you have directed the conversation more, even though we have classified each other as our dump friends. You're like, girl, let me tell you what happened this week. And you talk for 2 hours.
Jesus.
And then by the time we're getting our bill, you're like, so what's been going on with you, girl? And it's like, girl, I don't even have time to talk about it because you've been talking for 2 hours. You know what I'm saying? But let's say like the first time I would be like, oh, she really needed that. So I'm going to let her have it. And then the second time I would be like, she's really going through a lot. Like, I need to be there for her. Not thinking about what type of friend I need you to be to me. You see what I'm saying? And then it would be by about the 5th or 6th time, I'd be like, bitch, you don't shut up.
5th or 6th time.
I swear. And so then by then it's like, oh my God, like this is really what we do.
It's a lot of resentment at that point.
and exactly. And but it's not that I don't want us to continue our date nights. It's not that I don't enjoy your company. It's just like at some point it's like I just
a person too.
Yeah, I just need to talk too. You know what I'm saying? But But because I give the benefit of the doubt for so long, and because I want friendship so bad that
that sound like me.
I will put all of those feelings in my back pocket, hoping that they resolve themselves. Right. And the benefit of the doubt gives the excuse of self-resolving. Right.
Wow.
Because if I just say, oh, you just needed this today, that to me says next time it'll be better.
So, okay, as a friend, I try to be the very best version of myself to my friend because I love my friends. And in order for me to be that person, I have to be good to me too. And if I'm allowing people to vent to me and I don't have anybody to pour into, eventually I'm not going to be the best version of myself for my friend.
Right.
So I kind of look at it as a selfish, unselfish thing.
Okay.
Where, I have to say, hey, I need this from you, friend. I don't have to bring up, oh, I'm there for you, so you need to be there for me. Like, that's not what this is. Is, I want to continue to be there for you as my friend. And this goes to you too, as my friend. As my friend, I want to, be there for you like you there for me. I tell you all the time, like, I hope I'm not trauma bonding you, because that's not what I don't want to do that.
And I'd be like, if it's a trauma bond, that's fine.
And you know what? And now that I know, I have to be aware. Like, no, girl, what's going on with you?
If that's what it takes for us to develop a friendship, then I will trauma bond with you till Christ comes back.
No, girl, I think you bomb.com. No, you my man's. No. Now that I know, I'll be looking out for it now.
But the thing is, and this is a really horrible thing. Now that I'm gonna say this out loud, but I think I'm only like that with certain people, though.
Okay,
like when I meet people, this is very transparent. When I meet people, I kind of categorize people, and it's like, it almost takes me back to childhood, where it's like, if I have identified you as the cool girl, then you're probably going to get a lot of passivity from me.
Oh, because I want you to like me, and I don't want to say the wrong thing in that change.
Correct.
Oui.
So now if when I meet you, it's like, oh, like when I met you, I was like, oh, she's very forthright. She's very transparent. She's very centered. Like, you're very good with yourself. You know yourself, you know your boundaries, you know your limitations. Like, you are, like, if I had to give somebody a gold star for self-work, it would be you.
Oh, girl. Stop.
So because of that, I knew that in these ways I could be vulnerable and transparent with you, and you would be like, oh, girl, we'll just work through it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But I don't feel like that with everybody.
I don't know. I mean, ain't nothing wrong with a little clean house. Sometimes you got a clean house.
Very true. But then the people pleaser in me won't let me.
You got to. You better tell her to shut the hell up. Listen, you gotta, hey, listen, we ain't getting nothing from this relationship. At one time we did, but I didn't, sometimes you outgrow the friendship,
That's very true.
And if you really love these people that you keep pouring into, sometimes walking away from them to give them the autonomy of their life to say, you know what, I need to start, picking myself up.
Yeah.
So, and stop putting my burdens and my baggage on my friends around me so that I can stand. Sometimes you gotta stand on your own just to, to fix yourself up so you can be that friend that you're supposed to be.
Yeah.
Well,
this segues into our Sheep Happen segment, actually. So I hope you guys have your seatbelts on, because this is just going to be one of those episodes. So I guess I'll give you the context of where this came from. So on social media is so addictive.
It is.
And it's so I don't know the word. I don't know if there is a word for it, but it has a way of shaping how you feel about you sometimes. Right? And so I noticed the one day when I was on social media, like I went on social media and I was in a good mood and it was a good day and everything was well. And then, after about 2 hours, I started to feel like irritated and like frustrated with myself and my experiences in life, right? Because you see these influencers, and you feel like their life is a certain way. And I try not to compare, but I've always been comparison has been my motivation in life. Like that,
Yeah.
it's the reason why I have gotten as far as I have gotten. It's because I don't want to, in the vast view of society, be at the bottom.
I mean, but that's easy to do when they have a on and off switch on what you see.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the responsible, smart me knows that.
Yeah.
But my feelings don't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so it's like you got to talk yourself out of your feelings, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I found myself talking myself out of my feelings this week. So that's where this came from. And so, but it made me think about, the platform, and how, we identify as the black sheep of our family and friend groups.
Mm-hmm.
And I was wondering if you or you guys, have experienced rejection, specifically in your adulthood. I think that, trauma and rejection happens a lot when we're younger, especially like middle school, high school, when you're trying to like figure yourself out, navigate the world and all this other stuff. But I'm starting to notice through, self-work that a lot of those things have carried over into my adulthood.
Mm-hmm.
And although that they're not triggered on a daily basis, I have formed my life around the trigger. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I feel a certain type of way about this. And because I feel a certain type of way about this, I am forever going to make sure that this happens like this, or this doesn't happen like this, or whatever the case may be.
Mm-hmm.
So my question to you and to everybody else, if you have something that you want to give to the conversation, feel free to leave a comment, because we would love to keep this conversation going. But where have you experienced or continue to experience rejection in your adulthood?
I experienced it the most, in my opinion, in my young adulthood.
Okay.
Probably like the very beginning of undergrad, where I was still kind of getting to know myself, very on my own and independent. And like you, in a lot of ways, because I was so on my own, I was like kind of desperate to try to hold on to friendships and make friends. So, for whatever the reason, I think a large piece of it because I was still learning myself and getting to know myself. And I was kind of under construction. I was attracting the wrong friends. So even if I didn't have anything in common, they were the cool kids, or made me laugh at a time where I really wanted to cry or I was hurt. They just had a way where their personality was big enough to attract me. And regardless of what attracted me, that will be my friend. And I had never had anyone be a good friend to me, so I didn't know how to be a good friend to anybody else. So they would do things to me, very hurtful, say hurtful things, talk about me when I'm not around, just all types of stuff. And I would know and find out, because I did have people that were my friends that I wasn't very good to, because again, I didn't know how to be a good friend to anybody. So I had people that I had hurt a great deal, but they would tell me like, oh, this person is saying this. I even listened in on being talked about a few times. And even knowing, I would just still try to, okay, I can change this about myself and make them like me.
Yeah.
So again, I came to a crossroads where I didn't have anything left, because I'm pouring so much and trying to make people like me. I looked up one day and it was just like, I ain't got nothing left to give. And not only that, I ain't got nothing left to give me.
Yeah.
So I just found myself just not being present and just being someplace else and just shut down. And I think I got tired of the reaction I was receiving from that. And I got tired of hurting people that, didn't deserve it.
Yeah.
So I finally just, spent a lot of time by myself and learned how to love myself again and fall in love with myself, kind of like you would in a relationship, like in a marriage or boyfriend, girlfriend situation, like just kind of falling in love with myself again and saying, what is it about me that will make somebody want to be a friend without changing it? Just being myself. And I found so many awesome things. It was just like, I'm slighting myself.
Yeah.
Like, let me get back to me And then I felt like the moment I started doing that, I started losing friends. Like, because I just wasn't that same person no more. And I was okay with it for the first time. Like, it was rejection, but it was like a rejection that showed me like I'm going in the right direction.
Yeah, it was welcomed.
Yeah.
So how did you I got two questions. How did you end up learning how to be a good friend? And then two, once you realized that you were at the place that you wanted to be, how did you vet new friends?
Asking more questions. Just communication, really. Hey, I want to talk to you about X, Y, and Z. Is that okay? Is that make you uncomfortable? Or you're doing this and I don't have any experience with that, but I know it makes me uncomfortable and I don't think I like that. Does that work for you? Because that doesn't work for me. Just kind of navigating it, and learning as you go, really, but just being present for yourself to say, okay, I don't like that. Like, I experienced somebody treat me this way back when I was still learning myself, and I didn't like how empty it made me feel. So I'm not about to let you come in and do the same thing.
It sounds like avocation.
Yeah.
But for yourself.
Yeah.
I have never heard this way.
I've never heard anybody call it that, but it's accurate. But yeah.
Interesting.
But that's the social work piece.
But you're a social worker.
Exactly.
So that doesn't help us regular people.
but it comes second nature.
Yeah.
I mean, it didn't at first, but it take you to get to all the way to the bottom, and you don't have nowhere else to go but back up.
Yeah.
When you just don't have nobody, you don't trust nobody. Nobody makes themselves available to you.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, what do I do from here?
Right.
Like, okay, I'm just pouring into myself since there's nobody else around to pour into me, and I'm all I got right now. So
how do you do that? How do you pour into yourself?
You don't have a choice.
I mean, I don't think people know how to do it. They just feel empty, and then they just stay in an empty place and look for external resources to fill a void. You know what I mean? And I think that's how addiction starts. I think that's how, bad relationships start, is because people don't really know, when they feel empty, but they don't know how to do a self refill, and then they start looking for external sources. So like, what tools did you have, to start to do that for yourself?
Fun fact about me, I actually used to perform poetry.
Really?
Yes.
Me too.
Really?
Yes.
How long ago?
Forever.
Oh, wow.
College.
Yeah, I stopped, but it's kind of weird to explain. So
I'm sure I'll get it. Go ahead.
The poetry me.
I'm excited.
We're going to have to revisit this. I'm geek. My poetry, when I finally write stuff down, it's like the person, it comes from a person or a part of myself deep on the inside that doesn't come out often. It's like when I put my pen on paper, this part of myself rises up and just and speaks. So I go back and read my poetry and it's like, oh, this is how I really feel.
Yeah.
This is how this is affecting me. I said I was okay with this, but I got on paper that I was not okay with this, and I'm not healed from this.
Yeah.
So I learned myself through writing. So I wrote a lot. I did a lot of poetry,
journaling,
mapping, trial and error. And I ain't gonna lie, some people I tested with situations. Like I had a friend who was not, it was a friend of me. And
did you know they were a friend of me?
I had no idea they were a friend of me.
Okay.
And this growth process really revealed it. But one situation, she was big on gossip. She always gossiped, talked about everybody, told her business and everybody else's. So I did tell her at one point, like, I would like to speak to you and it be just between us, me talking to you in confidence. And I told her something like, this is something like you can't tell anybody. I'm trusting you with this information. And I made up something. and to see if she would tell. She told everybody. And everybody was coming to me, checking on me. Are you okay? And you got to watch out for them friends that are there for you when the effed up stuff is happening.
Yeah.
You know, not the friends that just come around to check on you when things are good, the good and the bad, because they something else too. Just messy and liking drama that's not their own, like just a mess. And she was one of those people. She told all of my business, and I told her later down the line, like, no, that didn't really happen. I just wanted to see if I could trust you, and you proved that I can't trust you.
You failed.
Yeah.
Miserably.
So a whole lot of those situations, like I did that a lot of just trying people and telling, hey, I need a ride to work for this day. Can I count on you to do it? I don't have gas money. Is that a deal breaker?
Yeah.
Like, I've been there for you in this way. Can you do the same thing for me? And a lot of times it was like, no. You gotta get a ride from, just all types of weird. People are weird. They stress you out. But anyway,
you look stressed talking about it.
It's stressful because it's like, it don't make sense how people can just not be there for you when you are constantly there for them. Like, why would you not want to be there for somebody like that just got your back?
Yeah.
That don't want nothing in return,
and
for real.
Need proof. Of your friendship in order for them to move.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for me, geez, I think it's been relationally, like from a romantic standpoint. So when I was younger, and I've said this on earlier episodes, I was the black sheep in the way that it wasn't necessarily negative, but I was a tomboy. I was a big time tomboy. Like, if you put me in pink, I would fight you. If you told me I had to wear a skirt, I would have a fit. You know what I'm saying?
Did you play sports?
Oh yeah,
wow.
I played basketball, volleyball, and golf. But
I played golf too.
Did you?
Yeah.
I got some clubs in the garage if you want to go hit some.
Girl, you just. I played in high school.
Yeah, I was all city. I remember when I said when we met, I said you look very familiar. That's probably what it was.
That might be.
Because I don't forget a face.
Girl. That's crazy.
But yeah, so but I was always categorized as like, oh, that's my nigga. Like we just friends.
Yeah.
But it was never like a I was always around beautiful, like my friends, high school, college, they were the prettiest people.
Yeah.
And so it would be like, my friends would get all of this attention. And then, from my aspect, it would be like, what up, my nigga? You good? And they'd be like, okay. So I'm holding purses at the club, and you know what I'm saying? I was always the stable friend,
the chunky bestie. What I used to always call myself.
But by default, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And so I feel like even in my marriage, like, we've been, it'll be 13 years next week.
Wow.
That is crazy.
That's
I just
beautiful.
thought about that out loud. But even in my marriage, it's just like, like, I want to continuously feel chosen. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I don't want it to be like, well, I woke up with you. Obviously I'm here. You know what I'm saying? It like but I think it shows up not just relationally. I think it shows up everywhere. Like in my friendships. I always want to be the one that is like well spoken of or reverenced or admired, or you know what I'm saying? Because I felt like I was in the shadows for so long. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And even my friends from like childhood, like I grew up at Word of Faith, and we had a very strong youth department. And my friends from middle, I still talk to them to this day.
Right.
Like we met when I was 12, and we had a friend group, and even though we are all over the country, like we have a group chat and we still talk all the time. You know what I mean? And so they're still my friends, and they're still good people, and they thought I was a good person, but it was just, I never felt chosen. You know what I'm saying?
So, okay. So just to make sure I'm gathering what you're saying. So you're saying like, I want to feel like in the event you can go back in time and choose anybody else, that you would choose me time after time again.
Yes.
I would hope so.
But across the board, you know what I'm saying? Like I even feel like that with my kids, and they didn't have nothing to do with this. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know why the Lord gave them to me, but He did, and I love being their mom, and all the things. But it, like, I even tried to prove myself as a mom. Like, I want to be the mom that if you could go back to God and be like, send me back for round 2, but I gotta go with Erica. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had such a great experience with her the first time.
Yeah.
If reincarnation was a thing, which I don't believe it is, send me back to her. You know what I'm saying? Like that, and I don't know where that comes from. Well, I know where it came from, but I don't know how to move past that. And even my therapist was like, I don't know what to tell you.
You can't really, like, I mean, because that's something you can't really control.
Yeah, and it's like, it makes me a good person, though.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. And it's like, if I did not have that part of me, would I still be a good person? Like, is that a part of me that I really want to get rid of? And those are the type of questions that I ask myself.
I mean, it's one thing to ask yourself. It's another thing to kind of let it take over. I can't think of the word, but to just let it take over, where you're constantly thinking about it.
Yeah.
Like, am I good enough for this? Am I,
Yeah.
Like, do you feel like it's something that happened that made you consistently question yourself? Like, would I be chosen to this capacity?
I don't think it was any one situation. I really believe that it sprouted from not feeling chosen in relationships when I was younger. You know what I'm saying? Like, it would be like, oh, I got a crush on that boy, and he'd be like, girl, go somewhere, she's pretty. You know what I'm saying? Or I want to hang out with this friend group in college, and they'd be like, I mean, you can stay with us because you pay your rent, but we don't really bang.
You're
with
not
you
one
like
of
that.
us, right?
Yeah. And so it was always like a entry, but not a welcoming. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can come as long as you stand over there and you hold our purses and you pay for our drinks. But you can't be in the circle.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Or even when it comes to church sometimes.
Yeah.
It's like, those who've been there from the beginning and was a part of the established team. It's like, oh yeah, no, like you there is nothing you can do to be a part of that core group because you weren't here.
You know what? I think those are signs that you shouldn't occupy that space. Like, that space ain't made for you.
Really?
Yeah.
Tell me more.
Because I feel like it's that saying, like, if you're not invited, don't come. Like,
but I'd be pissed.
Well, you know the feeling of being welcomed when you go somewhere and you're wanted there.
But even when I, like, okay, let's say you're having a party and it's on the 22nd. And I know without a shadow of a doubt I have another event to go to. And even if you invited me, I wouldn't come. The fact that you didn't invite me, my feelings are hurt. Because I still want to be wanted at your event. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like, I want you to feel like, and I feel like this sounds crazy.
It don't.
But I want it to be like, I need to make sure Erica is here, so it's a party.
But that's a buildup. It's like a buildup to me, because it didn't happen. It wasn't the level of want that you wanted. Yeah. If that makes sense, from when you were a child. So now it's like, I need this now.
Yeah.
So I need it from everybody that's here.
Yes. Every single, like, and you know what made me think about it yesterday was my goddaughter's open house. And we hosted it at our house, but her family was, all I did was cook. I mean, cooking is a lot, because if the food is bad, your party is trash. Yeah. But her other aunts came and decorated and really pulled through. Her dad was amazing. Her sisters came. Like, it was a really good event. But I found myself at some point going, how was the food? How was the food? How was the food? Did you like the food? What was the food? And then I had to kind of check myself, like, Erica, This not even your event, nigga.
Right.
Like, calm down.
You could have not made nothing at all.
Yeah, I could have been upstairs asleep. It just lets you use the backyard, and you know what I'm saying. But but it's the fact that it's like that continuous affirmation.
I think sometimes that comes too when people don't tell you they appreciate you. Like when you're constantly doing for everybody around you.
Yeah.
And people don't think like, wow, she did all of this for just me and not herself. This just me. Thank you. I see everything you're doing. I see you.
Yeah.
Just not hearing I see you and be feeling like I see you. I feel like that can bring those feelings along too.
So how do you fix that?
I don't think it's a thing that you just like it's a one-time fix thing. I think it take a lot of time where you got to say, sometimes I'm going to do a few things without those thank yous. I got to make a decision in my head. Okay, can I do this out the kindness of my heart? Or can I do this for this person and it just be that and I not have those feelings? Because if you have those feelings for some things you have to say, you know what? I don't want to do that. Because I feel like I'm being taken for granted and I'm not being appreciated. So I don't want to do it.
But the people pleaser in me won't let me have that conversation.
You got to have either or. You got to have either
so
or.
I have to either accept being a people pleaser.
You have to choose you sometimes. I feel this way about doing this, and because I feel this way, I have to say no. People please gonna be like, no, that's not what we do. They need you. Who else is gonna do it?
That's how I feel.
But ultimately, somebody gonna do it. Even if you don't do it, that don't mean nobody gonna do it. Somebody gonna do it.
But it would be smoother if I did it.
What if the tables was turned? Who gonna do it for you? You gotta choose you sometimes.
I was about to say I got about 2 people.
Girl, if you don't choose you, nobody else will.
I would be like, oh, I know they gonna be here. But
and what makes you feel that they gonna always be there? Are they gonna be there? What do they do that make you feel that way?
They show up.
And are you always leaning on them?
Yeah.
And do they always lean on you?
Yeah.
Well, that sounds like a good friendship to me.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying.
It's like the only two people you need to be pouring in from now on. Situation figured out. They're the only 2 people. Friendships work 2 ways, y'all.
Yeah, but that's the thing is I don't think people are bad friends to me. I think my expectations are too high.
They're your expectations.
They are.
Self-esteem means.
But sometimes expectations can be unrealistic.
Oh, based on who? They're yours.
True.
You ain't gotta answer to nobody. Them yours.
But it's like my mama always used to say this, and maybe this is where it comes from. You can't expect greatness out of mediocrity. Like if somebody shows you that they are mediocre all the time, and you are expecting them to level up to greatness, that's really your fault, not theirs.
Is that what you're doing?
Maybe.
I am confusion. Yeah.
But I mean, you get what I'm saying, though.
Yeah. I don't think you. Well, we gonna pray that you ain't.
And that's always the answer. Well, let's pray about it. I need help. Like,
I'm sorry. I'll just be like, oh, so you just here to just for what I can do, and you can't even say thank you. I tell my child that all the time.
Yeah.
Say thank you.
Yeah.
Like people don't have to do the things that they do for you.
True. But I feel like some things it's my expectations are too high.
No, they're not. Next.
Okay. I don't want to give this example personally. I want it to be your example.
Okay.
Let's say that how long you been married? Not you gotta count.
Carry the 4.
She's sorry. She's sorry, husband.
Wait.
No, seriously, you don't know? What year did you get married in?
5 years now.
Okay. So you've been married 5 years, but y'all have known each other since Christ came the first time.
Basically.
Yeah. So, I mean, maybe marriage isn't okay. Anyway, y'all know each other though.
Yes.
Like you know what he is capable of.
Yes.
And he knows what you are capable of.
Yes.
What happens if tomorrow you decide that, let's say he just is a bad cook. I don't know if this is true or not, but let's just say if he is just a terrible cook and you have taken on the responsibility of cooking most meals. if not all. Okay, just for example's sake. Let's say tomorrow you decide, I'm fed up. I'm fed up with cooking. I have been cooking for you for 15. We've been together 15 years. I've been cooking for you 15 years. You ain't learned how to cook. You ain't picked up a recipe book. You ain't tried to figure out how to make this easier on me. And so, you know what? Eat McDonald's until Christ comes. I don't care because I'm tired.
Right.
Wouldn't that be unfair?
Yeah.
Because because the expectation going in was everybody knows that he can't cook.
But here's the thing. You knew he couldn't cook, but you still put yourself in a situation to count on him on some level to eat. So
wait. Sit there for a minute. What do you mean? How did I count? What? How did I count on him to eat? How did you count on him to eat?
When you got with him, I'm assuming the same you've been with the same person through and through.
Yeah.
And when you got with him, he couldn't cook.
Right.
When y'all moved together, he said, "Hey, I can't cook."
Right.
You didn't say nothing. It wasn't a problem. And now you're tired.
Right.
You should have said something from jump. I'm sorry. Okay.
How could you anticipate that you was gonna be tired of cooking?
I feel like you got a household with kids and a husband. You work, he work. You do all the cooking. You don't expect that eventually I'm get tired of it. You got to eat every day. That means you got to cook every day.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like to set myself up for success. I know realistically, it might almost days, maybe 3 to 4 times a week, I can cook a meal for everybody, make their lunch. But it's going to be a few days a week, being that we're both working and I'm taking care of the kids. You know, when you at work and basically in my sleep taking care of the kids, and eventually I'm gonna be tired.
Right.
So I'm gonna need you to learn something, you know, in between time. Like, you know, maybe we can look on YouTube, find some meal prepping ideas, something. But I think that should be done like in the beginning, so that in the event that I do get tired, we got a backup plan. So
I'm just not planning well enough.
No, it's not you, because you're doing your part. So it should be.
So the other person would be expected to figure out the backup plan. It depends on
your communication. If you tell him like, "Hey, some days I'm just not up to it. You know, can you cook X, Y, and Z when I'm feeling like that?" And hopefully it's like, you know what you do. You cook all these times a week, and you work real hard. You go to work and come home and work some more. So yeah, I got you. You just gotta.
But what if his perspective is, you knew when we got married that I'm not a good cook, and my intention is not to cook.
We also didn't have kids when we got married. Things have changed. Anything that ain't growing is dead. Our relationship will blossom, and my needs will change consistently. If that don't work for you, I ain't the lady for you.
That's interesting.
I'm just saying.
I hear what you're saying, because I think I'm like that in friendship too, where I am so quick to assess people and determine what they're capable of and what they're not capable of, that and in my relationship too, that I choose not to hold them accountable for the things that I think that they're not capable of.
And a lot of times, if you hold them accountable, sometimes you'll find a totally different side of them. You know, baby, I didn't know that was all of that. You was carrying all of that because you don't complain, Erica. You don't complain that it's too much, that you're carrying too much.
You don't. I just wait for our events. I just wait for our event sessions at Friday. And then I get in there and be like, I'm sick of it.
Hey, where did this come from? I didn't even know this was a problem.
You're right.
So this load is heavy. You know what I'm saying? I really could use your help. You know what? You're right. You do X, Y, and Z. Thank you for trusting me. Let me help you.
Yeah.
And you be sitting there like, wow, that's all I had to do? Communicating. Yeah. It's a beautiful thing. Yeah. It is so beautiful.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah. Speak up, girl.
This was fantastic. And that's a wrap. Finally Heard family.
Oh, y'all. Hey.
You forgot they was here.
I forgot y'all was here. Hey.
That's a wrap. Don't forget to send us your questions, your shareable stories, testimonies, even your what the flock experiences about your Black Sheep experience. We would love to incorporate them into the show. As you can see, all these people on social media are getting free publicity because we use their stories. So we would really like it to be you instead. Make sure you send them to admin@finallyheard.com, and please indicate if you would like to remain anonymous because we will Tasha K you.
Yes. Respectfully, of course.
Respectfully, of course. If you would like to become a sponsor, if you have a business,
give us your money. Yeah. All of it. Put it in a collection plan.
And you would like for us to shout out your business on our platforms, on social media, as well as live on our show, that is a possibility. We do have a marketing team.
Yes.
And you can also submit those requests at to admin@finallyheard.com. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe as always on all of our social media platforms. You can watch us weekly on YouTube, listen to us on Spotify. You know, you can watch on Spotify now. They have video.
Yeah.
So you can watch us on Spotify or listen to us. iHeartRadio, Amazon Podcast, Apple Podcast, wherever podcasts are sold.
Apple Podcast.
We can be wherever you need us to be. And if you'd like to be a guest on the show, I have an extra mic or two.
Come on in the room.
Submit those requests also to admin@finallyheard.com. And we would love for you to be here with us live. Now listen here though. Let me make this disclaimer. If you have never sat in front of a microphone in your life and you don't know what you're doing, practice first before you submit that. Okay? Because we don't have time to do the classes in-house on recording day. Okay. All right. Love you guys. As always, thank you so much for listening to the Finally Heard podcast. I'm your girl E.
And I'm your girl Mo. And we are the ones that he came back for.
Until next time, y'all. Bye.